I'll send you. Okay.
Uh, I got only one email, Mohammed.
No, I also sent you one more email. Just a moment. No, two email I sent
I
you.
received only.
Okay, you'll just refresh that thing. I sent you both.
Okay. Yeah, I got it now.
You got
Day
it?
9.
Okay, fine. Yeah, day 9. Okay, fine. You can see my screen, right? You can see, right?
Yeah, I can see
Okay,
this.
okay, fine. Okay, I'll start the session now. Okay, today we are going to discuss about the user types. Okay, see, when you are, when you are ready to face the interview, they are asking around some 2 to 3 questions in that. Okay, minimum. They'll ask you because they want to know. Okay, what do you mean by dialog user type? This is a one kind of user type, a system, communication, service. Okay, what is the difference between a communication and a system, and what is the difference between service and system? What is the difference between communication service? What is the difference between reference and dialogue? How can we use reference? Those kind of questions they will ask definitely, because this is very important, a concept in SU01. So if you go to SU01, if you go to SU01, you can see, for example, our user is Anil G, and if I go to the change mode, so I'm going to talk about this one user type, dialog. See here, you can see dialog, system, communication, reference, service. These are the 5 type of users. Because see, when we are creating any user in the system, we are not just creating only one type of user. There are 5 types of users are there. Okay, you should know this one. You should know this one, so that in interview they'll definitely ask questions regarding this user type. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about this concept. It's a very important concept you need to remember. Okay, one is what are the different types of user types we have, like dialog. First one is dialog, second is system, communication, service, reference. So these are the users. Okay, you can see these are not a system, they are the users. You can see the image, system, dialog, service. These are the kind of users. Okay, different types of user we are going to create in the system. So first of all, I would like to tell you what do you mean by dialog customer. Suppose, see, this is our screen, right? If I choose, by default you can see it's dialog is selected. By default it is dialog is selected. I need not to select, dialog is selected. So if I select a dialog, so whenever I am creating any user here, okay, so he is a human, he's a human. Okay, he's the employee, it's like a human like us. Example, see, you can see all humans who are working in the company, employees, irrespective of department, irrespective of their position. Okay, they are call it as a dialog users. Okay, dialog users. So what is the I'm just giving you some, some very brief information here, but later I will go through some details. Okay, so what is the purpose? Used for interactive system access. So what they will do, this user will interact with the system using SAP GUI. They are using the GUI logon pad. You can see here, here is a logon pad, right? So whenever this one, I'm talking about this one. So whenever they are going to communicate or interact with the system, they are going to this logon pad, and they are using this one, like they are using this login interface, like client, they will put username, password, they have to put. There is no other way they can interact with the system. So that is the meaning. Okay, so used for interactive system access, GUI logon and web GUI. So web GUI you will see in GRC. Suppose in web GUI, if suppose for example, if I take generally the Gmail, so you are going to put without the password, without the user ID, you cannot go inside, right? So like that, if you are, in if any kind of web GUI there, graphic user interface, again you have to use username and password. But if you are using SNC, the secure network communication, only the user is someone is joined. Just a moment, I'll just add him. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so suppose if anybody, for example, what I mean to say, uh, see, if you are setting the SNC, secure network communication, only the you at least username he should add here. At least username he has to give and login. But whenever he has to log into the system, he has to use login credential. It could be username, password, or only username. Okay, so that's the reason. See, you need to remember these properties. What do you mean by properties? See, login is possible through GSCP GI. So to interact with the system, to interact with the system, he has to use the login pad, SAP GUI. He has to go to SAP GUI and then log in from by using his username and password. Okay, that is a must and should property. Second is password is expired on every 60 or 90 days. For example, if he's a dialog user, I mean the human, all the employees working in the company, so every 60 days or 90 days the password is going to expire. Okay, so I cannot set it as okay, lifelong you can use this password. No, I cannot set it. Okay, these are the properties. Okay, now now see here, online interactive, how they will do. He's a human and he's interacting with the system, and the system is giving response to him. Okay, but he has to do the login, otherwise he cannot interact with the system. So what happened here, see, during log on to system, what the system checks for it will check the expired password or initial password. See, initial password, whenever we are setting up any password, we are setting on user on password here, right? So for example, welcome I put, then after that the user can change his password. Okay, so what happened here, so whenever the example, suppose you Anil G is logging in the system first check what expired password, if the password is expired or not, and it also check like also, or it will check initial password is set or not. So the user can change his or password later. Multiple dialog logons are checked, and if appropriate logon. See, I know what I will do, I'll give some detailed information about this dialog so that you will understand more better. Okay, now what do you mean by dialog user in SAP? What do you mean by dialog user in SAP? So here, a dialog user is a normal user account for real people like humans. Okay, example like who? Employees, consultant, IT consultant, admins, administrators. Okay, these are the people. So irrespective of the position, irrespective of their the department, all the people working in the company called dialog user. Remember this. Okay, dialog user. So this is the type of the user that human uses to log in into the SAP via SAP GUI or Fury or web browser. So what happens? They have to, if they want to interact with the system, they have to do login by SAP GUI or Fury if you are using S4 HANA or web browser. Okay, so he need, must and should he need to log in with the username or password. Okay, it is the most common user type in SAP. It's the most common. Now think of it as your personal login ID and password to access SAP. Now you know that what is a personal login ID and password to access your SAP. For example, here what we set it out for Anil G, Anil G is a username and password is something like SAP123 we have given. Okay, right? So this is the same thing like the every employee. If you are if you are configuring or adding any employee in the system, that user is dialog user. Okay, now where is it used? So where we are using, example, employee access. Example, an accountant logs in every day to post invoices in SAP FI. He's logging, right? Accountant, they use a dialog user ID. He's having dialog user ID. Okay, for you, like what we are done, we created as a Anil G, right? So we are created one ID. This is just like a ID like Anil G. Okay, so we are user this we are created dialog user ID, then the system tracks their activities, who posted which invoice. For example, why? Because see, if this accountant is having their own ID like Anil G, so example, Anil G is the ID of accountant, so whenever he do access, I can track what you are doing. I can track it. Okay, this will help me, who will post things, who will post the GL account, who the post the journals. I can see whatever the activity you can see, you can doing. I can that record is the transactions are recording in the system. I can see who is done this mistake, who is done this correction, right? I'll show you how to see. For example, see, I have mentioned here. See, if you go to SU01 information, see, if you go to SU01 slash n SU01, I'm going now to one this thing. If you go to the information, here there is a change document for user. Okay, suppose I want to see, example, I want to see Anil, whatever he done the Anil. So what I will do, I'll just remove this one date. See, if I put 9th date, whatever the Anil user, whatever the Anil user doing in this date and in this time, only that will recorded. So that's the reason what I will do, I will remove this date. I don't require this criteria. Okay, I'll just remove. I want to see whatever he done till now. I want to see other, and even I also I can see user created, who is user created, who is user deleted, who set the password, what is the user type. Okay, this kind of also I can check. Okay, for example, if I choose Anil, and if you would like to know like what exactly you done till now. Okay, if I execute here, so I can see your report, right? Okay, see, user created on where, when, this is the date we created this user, this is the time. Okay, they use text transition code, this one. So password change, we change the password on same date and same time, but see, this is a T code. Okay, password status changed, password changed, see, these are the transactions we done till now, because we not posted any account, or we not done anything. Well, you are not a admin actually, we created as a user, right? Okay, if I go here
Yeah.
and if I want to see the grc user 2, and if I want to see what exactly he done, so this will be also recording. This is also be recorded, because we not done any kind of transaction till now, but I can see this is the admin and he done this kind of transactions. So this is recorded, right? That see who is the grc2 user, this is the time and this is the
Yeah.
time and date. I can see what exactly you done. So this is what I want to say. This is what, just a moment here. See, the system tracks their activities, who posted which invoice. So I can track from this invoice. That is called employee. If I'm giving employee access, a dialog user I'm creating, so I can track this activities. Okay.
Mhm.
So now where it is used again, consultant. I told you employee access, now it's a consultant or admin access. Employee, for example, SAP security consultant, log in to create roles and assign as authorization. Okay, he's going to create a roles to the user. They use their own dialog user, so all their changes are logged for editing. Okay. Now end user daily work. So end user in the sense the client key users, you can say. Okay, end users who are using the SAP at the, I mean, when you develop the software. So end user daily work is, for example, a sales executive logs into SAP to create sales order. They use a dialog user which with only sales related authorization. So whatever he is having, in see the sales executive having only sales authorization, and whatever he can do, so that will be recorded. Okay, so initially what it means, the dialog user, okay, is only all the employees, all the humans, whoever working in our organization, we are taking him as, we are considering him as a dialog user. Okay, what happened here, what are the characteristics? Meant for interactive login by human. So we are going to see the human is interactive, interact with the system by logging in the system by using SAP GUI and Fury or web browser. Okay, it require a password, if required a password, and password rules apply like expiry, complexity, lock after failed attempt. See, if it is locked, the system will lock if he done some fail, if his attempt some password failed. Examples, he is putting wrong password, the system will lock the screen. This will happen to which? This will happen to the dialog user. Okay, so I mean, say you record a password. Okay, if you set SNC, no, you don't record password. Okay, so every user has their own ID, not shared. Okay, because Anil is having different ID, Sunil is having different ID, Mustafa is having different ID, Sayed also having different ID, right? So all activities are logged with the user ID for security and edit purpose. Okay, all activities we are going to log from our email ID, our user ID. Okay, okay, now what is not, cannot be used by for system to system or communication. That's I will explain you next slide. Okay, no, not ideal for shared user. I mean, I cannot share this this email ID to another person. Okay, you can take my email user ID and password and see the what are things are going on. No? I cannot share, right? So this is what all about dialog user. Okay, for example, here I am giving real time example. Imagine you work in an office. You have your own laptop, login ID and password. Nobody else uses it, right? And everything you do is track under your name. If you change files, send emails or log into a system, the company knows it was you, right? That's what a dialog user in SAP is. Your personal login for day-to-day SAP work. Okay, in short, I can say, in summary, a dialog user is in SAP is a normal login ID for people, employee, consultant, and admins. Use dialog user to log in interactively and do their daily work. Okay, someone is joining, just a moment. Okay, so each person has their own ID and password, so their system can track exactly what you did what. Okay, as of now, clear, Anil.
Yeah,
So dialog,
I'm clear. I'm
yeah,
clear, Mohammed.
dialog means Anil. See, whoever are the employees, whoever humans and all the employees, working in the organization called a Dialog user. So whenever I'm creating for any here any just a moment slash n su0, then I'll go to change mode here. Okay, now if I'm going to log on data, see if this is the service they are changed, they are the service. Okay, I'll take one more slash n su01. Okay, and then I'll change to Anil G. So this is our user, and I am going to change mode. Now I'm going to see here. I can see here this dialog. So if I can see this user type is dialog, in the sense he is the employee of our company, consultant of our company, IT admin of our company. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now we will see another type of user, that is called system. Here you can see here system. Okay, if I select this as a system, what system will understand, what SAP understand? If I select and save, then what system understand Anil G is what. Now if I select dialog, the system understand that you are the human. But if I select a system, what system understand, what SAP understand? Now let me discuss this one. So what is a system user in SAP? It's a very important concept, Anil. You definitely will get questions on that. So that's why please listen carefully. So what is a system user in SAP? A system user like a robot user ID created in SAP. Okay, so it's not for humans. It's not for humans to log on in interactively. No username and password login like we normally do. So what happen whenever we are creating as a system? So okay, it's like a robot you are going to create. It's like a robot you are going to create. Okay, now you are not using here whenever they want to log in username and password. No, we are not using username password. Directly they can log in. Okay, directly they can log in. Now instead it is used only for background system to system communication or automated process. Okay, what happened, for example, see, I'll show you here. See, this is SAP system. Within this is system, see, this is SAP system, and this is within the system there is a again some systems are there. Okay, it could be GRC, it could be Ariba, it could be anything. So now this one, you are going, now the system is communicating. See here, the system is communicating with this system. Okay, the system is communicating with this system. Now what happened whenever the system is communicating the system, or this system to this is communicating, they are not using user ID and password. Yeah, the automation process, they are taking the data from here, they are interacting each other. Okay, they are interacting each other, you are not creating. Okay, one more I'll give you example I have seen in my life. Did you heard about load balancing, Anil?
Yeah, I got that. Load balancing.
Yeah, load
Two
balancing.
servers.
Yeah, two servers. Example, this is one server and this is also one server. So what happened whenever the traffic will come to these servers? What happens? See, suppose if the many traffic is coming huge here, automatically transfer to this one. Okay, but they are interacting. They know the data is here, whatever there. This server knows whatever the data. This server knows. This server knows that is data. So they are doing the load balancing so that it will not affect to your speed performance. Okay, so they are interacting. These servers are interacting. That is called system. I'll give more example. Okay, I'll give more example. So it is used for only for background system to system communication or automated process. Okay, the difference is what here. The system means, remember this point very much. System in the sense within SAP system, not external system. Okay, for example, this is your SAP system. Okay, this is our SAP system, and this is GRC. Assume this is GRC, this is ECC, and if you connected this one through RFC and all, so they are communicating. Automated process you done. So what happened? This is within the system, SAP system. You are connecting the systems each other. They are communicating. This is called system. Okay, now think of example. Think of it as a special key that allows on SAP system to talk to another system automatically. You are giving a special key to them and they are talking each other. I'll give more example again. So where it is used, system to system communication. I told you system to system communication. One system to system, server to server. Okay, example, your company has two SAP systems or two SAP servers. One for finance, another for logistic SAP metal management. So whenever, see what happens, whenever you create a purchase order in it should be automatically send accounting entries to FI. This is in another system and this is also in another system. So what happens whenever user create a purchase order, automatically it send accounting entries to FI. even though these are different servers, different systems, okay, but within the SAP system. Remember this is the within the SAP system, not outside or not external SAP system. Okay, so whenever I create here purchase order, it will immediately transfer this entries in the finance. So to make this communication work, we create system user. So what happened, we are creating one system user one, like I'll create one thing, like example, like system one I'll create, and then here system one, and then I'll build a RFC connection between them. System 2, then I in those systems I'll build a RFC connection. Okay, then they will communicate. So whenever I'm creating this kind of user, I'll choose system user. Here I'm use system user. Okay, if I use system user, now the Anilji is not a human, he become machine, he becomes server. Okay, so then what happen, I will attach this user to link this user to another user in the another environment of SAP. Within the SAP there is another environment that is called SAP FI or SAP MM. So to make this communication work, we create a system user that act as a bridge between MM and FI. Okay, now second purpose is where it is used is background jobs and RFC, remote function calls. Did you heard about background jobs, Anil?
Background jobs. Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, so if you are running some background jobs, or if you are doing some RFC connections like a remote function calls, then we are using this system user. For example, every example I'm giving you, every night the system needs to run job to update sales report. See what happened, every night the system needs to run a job report. Okay, you are given some job update, see to job to update sales report. Instead of using human login at a midnight, a system or a user runs this job automatically. Got the point? So here the human is not coming. For example, see if you are running at midnight for like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Okay, 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. irrespective of time zone of the country. So what happen, if you are running this, the human is not coming at 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. and they log in and they will do. What happen, instead of a human login at a midnight, a system runs this job automatically. So the system now become the user is now you created as a system. This one, what happens, it will run the background jobs at 1 p.m. because in background you are setting, example I'll show you one example, background jobs of I think Sayed also joining, right? I want to show one example, background job example. I will give one example. I have seen this in my experience. Like for example, see if you are running payment batch. Okay, if you are running payment, for example, see suppose you are creating the invoice, for invoice payment. You are doing some payment, your payment for US, so you are doing for all the US guys, remember, all for US guys, but you want to do some payment for check. Okay, you are using check. So how many, some thousands checks you need to pay. Now same thing, like just a moment, I'll just copy this. Okay, now if you are doing the payment, now you have not check, you need to do EFT, electronic fund transfer. Example, five vendors you need to pay this one. Okay, now what happened, again for invoice payment, again what you are doing another called I'm not remember, EFT, ACH. Okay, ACH we are using. This is the EFT for USD to non-USD, remember. Okay, we are using this payment method. ACH we are using USD to USD. Okay, so see, I have payment batches. Okay, thousands for 1,000 vendors I need to pay in USD. I need to pay make the payment. And for EFT example, there are again assume that thousands vendors are there. I need to pay from USD to non-USD. Okay, and check I need to print 1,000 for 1,000 vendors. Okay, now what happened? I will not do one by one. I'll run a payment batch. I'll run payment batch. I'll run that, and then I will schedule. I'll schedule a job. I schedule what I will do. See, every Saturday. Okay, every Saturday at like 9 a.m. Example 9 p.m. Sorry, every Saturday 9 p.m. So the check payment need to be run background. Okay, so after that EFT, after that ACH. So like that I will schedule a batch. So whenever Saturday will come, the system automatically processing this payment. This is called background jobs. Okay, so automated system is doing this background job. So like that here, instead of human login in the midnight, a system user runs this job automatically. So this was the process continues smoothly without depending on the human. So here the human intervention is not there, the machine is doing itself because we created user as a system, not human. Now, in another example is trusted RFC connection. For example, suppose your SAP ERP system connect with SAP BW. Okay, BIBW, you know that? BIBW, you know, Anil?
Yeah. So business warehousing.
Yeah, business warehousing and business intelligence is like nothing but a data analyst. Data analyst, and in Microsoft, it is called as what? Power BI. Power BI. Okay, Power BI. In Microsoft, we are calling Power BI. So, suppose your SAP ERP system connect with SAP BW, business warehouse, for reporting purpose. They are connected. For example, I told you here, I show you like example. See, this is your like when I was explaining about client, I told you like this is your environment SAP. So here what you have, like ECC is there, GRC is there, Ariba is there, then your BI BW is there. Okay, so now what happened here? You connected this one. You connected your system here. You connected system to BW. Okay, so what happened? So instead of giving dialog user normal user login, we create system user for RFC connection. We use system user. This ensure the system exchange the data securely without manual login. So what happens here? Whenever they want any kind of information, like here I told you for reporting purpose, if the system need any information, okay, this system, for example, I create this system as a system user type as a system. This is also system. Now what happened? They are interacting and they are collecting the information for reporting purpose. Okay, here the manual or the human intervention is not there here. The system it will do automatically. Okay, you are assigning the job to them and they are doing their job. So here human is not there. So but this server, this machine is called system user. System user. Okay. Now what are the key characteristics of system user? Cannot be used for normal login as SAP. See here, the whenever you are creating as a system user, it is not going to this iPad. Not required this login. This login is not required. Username, password not required. Without login, without password, without username, the system is logging in the system and interacting with another system. Okay, now used for RFC connections, background jobs, application link enabling, and workflows. Password does not expire. So here what we done in Dialog, we are setting after 60 days or 90 days the password is going to expire, right? But here the password does not expire. Okay, it does not expire. We will not set it as expire. It's a lifetime. So no need to interact to login. So SAP login is not required here. So higher security because no human knows and uses their user. Though nobody, see, higher security is there. In the sense, for example, see, if I know Anil G password and user, I can, if I know the password and username of Anil G, I can log into the system, right? But here the human is not there. So all the all the connections will be from one system to one system. That's the reason it's a very high security we can find out here compared to Dialog. Now in real time life example, imagine you have a CCTV camera system, at home, at your home, connected to your mobile app. The camera continuously send a data to the app, right, Anil? The camera is continuously send the data to the app. You don't have to log in every minute to make this connection work. Okay, you need not to work. You need not to log in. So the hidden system account. See here, the hidden system account inside the CCTV camera device is like system user in SAP. It keeps the connection alive between two systems without human login. Clear? Sayed, are you clear, Sayed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So system in the sense you are connecting from one machine to one machine, one server to one server, and automatically they are performing their activities, background jobs or connection kind of thing. So in short, what I can say, a system user in SAP is technical user ID, used when system talks to each other or when automatically background jobs runs. No human login in with it. It's like a robot account that ensure SAP system keeps communicating and working smoothly. This is all about system. Okay, they will ask you They will ask you what is the major difference between Dialog and system, and also they will ask you like what is the difference between system and communication. Now I'll tell you later once I explain this one. Okay, so now you come to know what is Dialog, your kind of user, what is a system kind of user. Okay, now we'll go further. It's a very important aspect, like I mean, with respect to interview, Anil. Okay, now we are going to see about communication. What is the communication? Okay, the main difference here is, I'll tell you the main difference. Example, this is my SAP system. This is my SAP system, and this is my non-SAP system. Just assume that this is my PeopleSoft. I can say some my PeopleSoft I can say like Tally or some other like non-SAP system. So now you are going to connect, you are going to communicate with this. It's an external system, not SAP, third party system you can say. This is our SAP. This is our SAP. Okay. So the difference between the system and communication is, in system, communicating within the system. Okay, communicating within the SAP system, but here in communication, communicating outside the SAP system, I mean external system, a third party system. Clear? So what is the purpose is used for external RFC communication, such as from non-SAP system to non-SAP system, or non-SAP system to SAP system, or middleware we can see. I'll give you example again. Usage is interfaces and external system needing access to SAP. See what happened. See here I told you like Microsoft BI, they are connecting with so many, you know, they are Microsoft Power BI connecting to SQL. Okay, because this is connecting with the SQL. I mean, see, sometimes this Microsoft is connecting to the Tableau. The Tableau is a different, you know, the tool which is we are using for data analyst. I can, you know, I can connect this Microsoft to Tableau also. So this is externally I'm going to connect. So that is called communication. If I choose this, that is called communication. Now what is the property? Login is not possible through here. Here also we cannot use SAP GUI to login, and password is never expired. Same thing. Same thing. Only difference is this is a system user for internal communication. This is for external communication. Okay. Within the SAP system, this is external system. Okay. Now that's why whenever, you know, I am creating a user as a communication, then login is not possible, and password. This is also robot IDR. This is also robot ID. Remember, same like a system only, but difference is it is communicating with the external system, non-SAP system. Now what happened? What is communication user in SAP? A communication user is created for external system or application to connect to the SAP. So I want to connect to the external system or third party system. I want to connect to the my SAP server. Now unlike system user, see here, unlike system user, system to system or no human login, a communication user is designed for third party tool or middleware that need to log into SAP on behalf of user. Okay, it can be used RFC remote function calls or CPIC. CPIC we are using like common programming interface for communication connection. So we are using this is using for if you are connecting to SAP to non-SAP, we are using this. A remote function also we are using for within the system as well as external system. So think of it as a special login ID given to the external application to access SAP. For example, see, I'll give one more example. I'll just remove this one. Okay, see, this is your SAP system. Just assume this is your SAP system, this is your non-SAP system. Okay, I'll just take just a moment. Okay, this is your SAP system and this is your non-SAP system. So what happened? See, assume that your SAP system name is something like ACC 0123 example. Okay, you are going to connect, you are providing this credential here, ACC 0123. When you are providing credential, now this you build a connection between them, RFC connection or CIC, you build the connection with them. Now this one, see, you connecting. Now whatever the so example, assume that this is your SAP system, this is your SAP system. Okay, now this is your non-SAP system. For example, I can say it's a Tally. Okay, this is a Tally. Okay, what happens? Suppose if you want any FI information you required, you can, you know, collect from this server, or you can, you know, post this entries to SAP. Okay, but this is two different servers. This is SAP, this is non-SAP. This is the concept of communication. Okay, So think of it as special login ID given to external application to access SAP. So you are given to an external application to access SAP. So here, if you are giving just a moment, if you are giving this access here, see, if you are giving this access number, okay, this number, and also see, for example, this is one more number, example BCC 0123 example. So if you are giving this number here, if you are assigning this number BCC 0123, so now what happens, these two systems are interrelated now. They can communicate, they can response, they can get information from one to one. They can share the information between the servers, even if it is external server, even it is third party servers, even it is non-SAP server. Okay, this is the concept of communication. Now see here, where is it used? Third party application access. For example, your company uses banking software. Okay, if your company is using banking software that needs to connect to SAP to fetch payment data. See, you have a bank and you are using some banking software. For example, assume that you are using Tally. No, that needs to be connected to SAP to fetch payment data. You want payment data, so that should be taken from SAP. Then you are using what? This communication. Instead of giving a dialog user or human login ID, we create a communication user. We are going to create as a communication user and assigning to the external user. This way, the banking software can log in to securely fetch the data and process the payment. Okay, another is external interface. For example, a mobile app. A mobile app is built for employees to check their salary slip. Just assume that a mobile app is built for employees to check their salary slip. The app connected to SAP HR module. The app is connected to SAP HR module in the background. So to allow this app to fetch data, we assign communication user to the connection ID. Got my point?
Yeah.
Sayed,
Yes, Mama.
see, this is on mobile we are using, where I can see the salary. And this mobile app is connected to the HR. So whenever I need a salary I want to see, I can see this. This app is fetching the data, and we assign communication user to the connection ID so that I can see my salary. I can see when I'm joining, how many the leaves are pending, how many leaves I can take again. So how many casual leaves are there? Everything I can see because it's fetching the data from the SAP server. This is called about communication. So another is middleware connection. I told about middleware connection. What is that? See, for example, your SAP system connect with third party logistics software. Okay, your SAP system connect with third party logistics software. For example, you heard about DHL, FedEx, you heard, right? So to exchange the shipment tracking data, a communication user is created to establish the link. Okay, to exchange the shipping data, so the communication user is created to establish the link. So it will establish the link and we can see the data. So what are the characteristics? Can be used for RFC, CPIC and external system logins. Password is valid, unlike system user which usually never expire. The password is never expired, but cannot be used for SAP GUI interactive login. As like a human in Dialog, I show you, you cannot go to the login pad and put the user ID and not required. Automatically it will connect. Security can be controlled by assigning only the roles needed for that external system. Okay, for example, they given here very good example here. A delivery partner app, for example Swiggy and Zomato, connected to your restaurant billing software. Okay, you know this one. A delivery partner app like Swiggy and Zomato connected to your restaurant billing software. The delivery app fetches order details from your billing software, right? Okay, you don't give your personal login ID of billing software to Zomato. Instead, you given them a special login communication user only for that app. So the special login is like communication user in SAP, created only for external Go app or tool. Okay, this is like same example they given for employees app for employee salary. Okay, in short, what I can say, a communication user in SAP used by external application or middleware to connect to SAP. It's like giving a special login ID to an app instead of human. For example, if a mobile app for banking software needs SAP data, we use a communication user instead of normal user. Clear, Anil and Sayed?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, this is Dialog. Next, second is system and communication. The difference between the system and communication is the system we are using when you want to create the user which interact with the another user within the SAP system. But this is communication data in the sense external. You are communicating with the external component, external thing, third party tool. Okay. Now
Non-SAP.
non-SAP tool. Yeah. Okay. Just a moment. I'll have a water. I'll drink a water. I'll come back. Okay. Just give me 1 minute.
But till this Rama, Mundinga.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, till any questions, Anil and Syed? Any questions?
No, sir.
Clear, right? Clear. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now we are going to talk about service user. Okay. So service, what I can say is a service is a emergency access you are providing or some special service you are providing. Okay. For example, used for anonymous access or shared user, such as public kiosk. Okay. For example, did you heard about public kiosk, Syed and Anil? Or you can say customer.
Kiosk is like,
Uh-huh.
hmm.
Hmm.
So whenever you go to like say any airport, it's like a public kiosk. So where you can do like the user related services. So without going
In
to
bank also we are using for
Yeah, exactly.
public fund.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here you can see here. If I want to print out any kind of a passbook, okay, I can see here. You can see here. She is operating now, and I see this is also public kiosk. Example, if I want to book any ticket, see he want to see like where he has to go. We want to book the ticket. This is called public kiosk. Okay, so they are using that. So a customer self-service portals. Example, I want to book a ticket, train a ticket. I can go to whenever I'm going to the station, I can I can book a ticket by using the phone pay and all. Okay, they are giving one user ID common for everyone. Okay, for scenario where user does not need individual account, I should not MD Mustafa, Anil G or Syed. I don't require any kind of username here. The one username they are giving, so based on that we are using this service. Example, here multiple user can use the same ID. All right, example, they given a email like guest 123 something, they will give user ID. So you are using this user ID and multiple user can access this one. Then geo login is allowed, so we need to log in. Password is not changeable or by end user. We cannot change the password, so we cannot set 60 days expert 60 days of 90 days. No, it is lifelong. Okay, we'll see again more here. So what is service user in SAP? A service user is like a public login ID, okay, created for multiple user to share. It is mainly used to anonymous login or public services where you don't want to create a separate user ID for every single person. I don't want to create any single ID. This user type allows multiple login at the same time. I can log in.
always.
Okay, think of it as a guest account or a shared computer login that many people can use. Okay, now, so where it is used, for example, in training and demo system. Okay, for example, a company has training SAP system for new employees. A company has a training SAP system for new employees. Instead of creating a new user for each trainee, they use a service user called training user. They create one single user and they can use the same similar username when they are logged into this training ID. Everyone can log in at the same time using the same ID. That is called what? Service user. Okay, now again we'll see the more scenario here. Okay, second is KISOC, public terminals. Example, in a factory there is a common KISOC. In factory they put on common KISOC system where workers check their shift timings or leave balance. Okay, they can see that, and workers do not have individual SAP ID. They don't require. They are creating on a common ID and they can use and they can see their data. Instead, the KISOC user service user that all the employees can log into the system. Now another is like temporary or guest access. Example, like a company has a vendor portal connected to SAP. Now vendor log in with a shared service user like vendor portal just to check order status. See, suppose they want to see how many orders I have, how many orders are pending. Those they can go to the vendor portal and they can use the shared services. No need to create 1,000 vendor account. Suppose you are creating this KISOC, you are creating for a system. No need to create 1,000 account. You just create one account, for example, like that, vendor 123, and then you give this username. That's all. They will log in from this and they will see the details. Now, what are the characteristics of the service? Can be used for SAP GUI and other login. So here, see, the Dialog user can be used SAP, and also this service user can use SAP logon pad. They will log in by using their user ID. That's it, not password. Only user ID they will put and they will log in the system. Okay, now multiple people can log in at the same time with the same email ID, but password does not change automatically. Okay, it will not change after 60 days. It will not expire. After 90 days, it will not expire. Lifelong, you can use the same password. Okay, not secure for sensitive tasks. Okay, do you think it's a public, right? So this is not secure actually. So because you can't track who actually logged in, everyone share the same ID. Got my point? Anybody having confusion about this point? See, I'm sharing. See, Anil. Suppose if I'm giving Anil G, I can track Anil is doing. If I'm giving Syed, I can see Syed is doing something else. I can see, right? But here they are using one simple one ID, like example, like guest ID. I'm just giving guest ID 123. So how I can track who done the what? I cannot track. So it's not secure. That's the reason it's not secure. So mostly used for public or shared access. Now there's some lifetime example. See, okay, imagine you go to library with public computer. You are going to the library to use public computer. There is a common login ID called guest123. They are also given here, same thing. There's common login ID like called guest123. Now anyone can sit down and use it without creating personal account, right? But since everyone is using the same ID, it's hard to track who exactly uses it at specific time. I cannot track because everybody using the similar ID. Now the guest 123 login is like a service user in SAP, shared common access for multiple people. Okay. Now another example, they given another example. Imagine you are in a college library. Instead of giving each student their personal Wi-Fi login, okay, instead of giving each student their Wi-Fi login, the library gives everyone the same Wi-Fi ID and password. Did you experience this one? Anybody experience this one?
Yeah, so many times.
So many times. So many times. Especially we are sitting in the this thing airport and some bus stand, some rail station. They are giving on Wi-Fi connection. They are giving
Wi-Fi. Place also there is always like free Wi-Fi. In hotel.
Yes. So this is like I'm giving examples so that you need to understand what exactly mean by the service user. Any student can log in at any same time. That shared Wi-Fi login is like a service user in SAP. One ID used by many people and one for general access. Okay, this is what. So summary in short, what I can say, a service user in SAP is shared account that multiple people can use it at the same time. It's like a guest login or public login ID. For example, in training system, kiosks or vendor portals, we create service users instead of creating individual account for everyone. We are not creating individual account. We are using a similar or common user ID, and we all are using that ID, and we are fetching the data. Okay. So last but not the least, last one, not the least. This is the last one. So is the reference. Okay, this is very important here. This is very important. Reference. Okay, they will ask you what is the difference between reference and dialog. They will ask a question. Remember. Okay, reference is what is that? A reference user is not used for direct login at all. A reference user is not used for direct login at all. Instead, it works as a extra bag for authorization that can be linked to another real user. So how I'll tell you one story. Okay. Okay. There are two users are there. Okay. I'll take 3. Okay. Now just assume that he is Anil. He is Syed, and this is Mustafa. Okay. Now just assume that I'm going to occasion. I'm going to occasion. So what I mean, I'm having, see, this person is having, okay, the Anil is having, just a moment, the Anil is having role 1, or I can say wait, a sales order creation role. Sales order, he can do sales order. And Syed, he can do the purchase order. Okay, only roles. I'm talking about roles. These are the roles. Sales order, creating sales order, and Syed is responsible for purchasing sales order. But my responsibility is what? Payment. Payment is what? One customer as well as vendor. I need to pay. This is my responsibility. Are you clear about this example? Are you clear till now? Are you clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Muhammad.
See, Anil, there are three users: Anil, Syed, and Mustafa. And Anil is responsible for creating the sales order. Syed is responsible for purchasing the sales order. And now my concern is I am doing only payment customer. I'm not creating the purchase order. I'm sales order. What happened nowadays? What happened now? I'm going for vacation. Example I'm giving. This is a real time example. I'm going for vacation. So what I will do, my roles and responsibility, what I will do, I will assign the customer to the Anil. I'll assign this. And then this vendor I assign to the Syed. Okay. I will not assign. See, I will not assign. I'm not going to the SU01. I'm not going to the SU01, and I'm adding here. See, example, I'll show you here. If I'm not going here, I'm not going to Anil G, and I'm not assigning here the role here. I'm not assigning role here. Remember, I'm not assigning. You can see here reference user. See here. You can see reference user. I'll put my ID here. For example, if my ID is MD Mustafa, got my point? See, I am not assigning roles here. I am assigning just my reference user, just my name here, MD Mustafa. So what happened? Whatever roles I am having, that roles you can also access. I am not assigning the role. You can access. Clear? Suppose in Anil, if I assign Syed role, example Syed Iftikhar, okay, Syed I is there. Suppose if I created this user and assigned to you, Syed is having a role of creating the purchase order. You are having the role of creating the sales order. I am not assigning the purchase order here. I am assigning just the Syed name here as a reference user, so that whatever the Syed is having the roles, you can easily access. I should not create again role here. Got my point? Got my point or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here, that is the what I am saying. I am giving extra bag of authorization. That can be, see, instead of it works as an extra bag of authorization that can be linked to another real user. So I am going to link to another user. So it is created shared additional rows authorization with multiple users without assigning those rows directly to each one. So I am not going to assign roles here. I am not going to assign here, like example, if it is like purchase order creation, for example, I am just giving a name here, purchase order creation role. I am not assigning here. I am directly in reference user. I am putting Syed name here because he is having the purchase order creation role. Now you can, if I am assign this name as a reference user, so you can access the role of Syedi. Okay. Now think of it as a membership card. Oh, good example. Think of it a membership card. You can attach to your main account to get extra access, right? Okay. Now where we can use it? Employee groups with extra access. For example, in a company, all employees have a Dialog user ID. You know where that we discussed already. In company, all employees have Dialog user ID with a basic access. But the sales team also needs access to reporting tool. The sales team also want reporting tool access. Instead of assigning the reporting rows to each sales employee one by one, the admin create a reference user, example sales rep, with those rules. He'll create on reference user. Okay, so that reference user he will assign here. Got my point? See, I'll tell you one more example. I'll show you this one. See, for example, okay, see what it means. He meant to say he will create on sales report one user. He will create on user. Then he will assign the role like sales report. He will assign the sales report. Now this is the user. Just assume that this is the user. One user. This is the one user. Sales report. He assigned created on sales report as a user. Then he created role sales report. I mean the sales report he can fetch. So think about, there are 50 sales admins are there, 50 sales executives are there, right? They want to have access to sales report. So what I will do, simply I will assign the sales report user, so that every 50 people can access this role. I will go to here. Here what I will do, in sales report I will assign here this example. Assume that this is the user sales. Okay, stuck it. Just I will remove that. Oh, user says it does not exist. Okay, I'll just go back. Okay, I'm just using no. Okay, I'm just going here. Here what I will do, I'll put sales report here. So what happens, I'm going to, for Anil G, just assume that Anil G is one sales person. If I assign sales report user here, he can access both his role as well as sales report role. Are you clear, guys? Are you clear?
Yeah. That's Muhammad.
Okay, in a company, all employees have a Dialog user ID with, okay, we already discussed it. So instead of assigning the reporting role to each sales employee one by one, the admin, we are not going to assign one by one here. So I need to log into everyone. I need to assign every role here. No, I'm not doing this one. Instead of that, I create a reference user, then sales reference, then with those, and I add the roles. So whenever I'm creating the reference user, I use the user type as a reference, not Dialog. I'll use as a reference. Got my point? So whenever I'm creating this reference user, I use this reference. Then this reference user, like example, this reference user I'm going to assign to the particular person in this here, so that whenever I assign this, he can access my role without adding this role here. I can assign this role. Okay, this is what I meant to say. Okay, the admin then links this reference user to all sales employee. Automatically they get that extra access. I will assign this reference user to every sales people, so that they will access the sales report. So again, in second example is training or temporary additional access. For example, a group of interns joins the company and needs temporary access to specific reports. There are some interns, students are there, right? They are going to join a company and they need temporary access to specific reports. So the admin create a reference user for interns and attach to their account. Okay, he will create a reference user here. Okay, he will create a reference user, and then he will log into the particular user, and in the roles he will assign that user, reference user. Okay. Now when the admin create reference, okay, when that interns leave, the admin just remove the reference link. No need to modify each user role manually. So he will just remove this one. He'll come and remove this. Okay, if you don't want to give this role, just remove this one. So again, what are the roles we assigned, he can access, but he cannot access now because I removed the reference user. Okay. Now shared role maintenance. Example, suppose 100 users need access to specific custom transition. 100 user need access to specific custom transition. In this case, instead of maintaining 100 user roles separately, the admin puts the access into service user. He will create on service user, put all the roles there. Then just assigning the reference user to all 100 users, it will save a lot of time and effort, right? Got my point?
Yes, Mohammed.
See, Syed got this point. Okay, see here, there are 100 users are there, like Anil ji is there, Sunil ji is there, Syed is there, like the 100 users are there. I cannot go to role. I cannot go to role and one by one I can assign role, right? One by one I cannot assign. So what I will do, I'll create on role, and then I'll create a role as a reference role, reference user. I'll create as a role, one user I'll create, like example XYZ I'll create user, then I'll maintain here user type as a reference. Okay, then in the role I mention all the roles here. Example, I mention some 10 roles here. So what happened, whenever if I create a reference user, I can assign 100 user to here. In roles I can assign this one. Simply if I assign here a reference user, if I assign here, so whatever the role I mentioned in the reference user, everybody can access, right? I can go to 100 and I can assign this reference user. I should not assign roles here. Got my point? Okay, one more candidate.
Exactly.
Okay, this is the way.
So we can create like a reference and assign to rest of the people,
yes,
right, Mohammed?
Yes. This is what I'll give one more last example, because why I'm stressing because. But one thing is, we are very rare we are using this one. Remember, very rare we are using this reference ID. Okay, very rare we are using, but still you should know this. Okay, for example, see I have like users, sales users. Let's assume sales user 100 are there, 100 users are there. Sorry, 100 users. Okay, so 100 users, they require minimum 10 roles. For example, 10 role. So I will not go to user in the SU01. SU01 I will not go. One by one I need to put, right? One by one I need to put 10 roles. I need to add for everyone I need to put 10 role, right? So what I will do, instead of that, I will create one reference user. I'll reference user, then 10 roles I will add to that user. 10 role I'll add, and I will assign this reference user to the 100 users, 100 sales users. So easily everybody can access these 10 roles when I assign to them. Okay, I cannot maintain all the 10 rows to one by one. For example, Anil 10 rows, Sunil 10 rows, Syed 10 rows, Mustafa 10 rows. No, I cannot assign, right? I cannot assign. So what I will do, instead of that, I'll create a 10 role in assign reference user. Then this reference user assigned to 100 sales users, so that they can access these 10 roles. It saves a lot of time and effort. Now, okay, what are the key characteristics? Example, cannot log in by itself. No direct login required. Used only to provide additional authorization. Okay, used only to provide additional authorization, as I told you. Help in role authorization management for large groups. Easy to maintain. Change one reference user and all linked user get updated automatically. So I'm assigning one reference user. So whatever the roles I have assigned in the reference user, all can use those roles. Okay. Now, for example, they given an example here. Imagine you are a gym member. You are the gym member. Your main gym card lets you access normal workout areas. Okay, your main gym card lets you access normal workout areas. If you also buy a swimming pool membership, the gym does not issue a new card. Got my point? You have already main card, gym card is there. In that they have access for normal workout areas. They defined where you need to go and where you need to do. Then if you want a swimming pool membership, they does not issue a new card. Instead, they attach swimming pool access to your existing card, right? So the swimming pool membership, like a reference user, it add extra privileges or permissions to your existing user ID without creating new login ID. I think this example helps you to understand the concept. Okay. Now, in short, I can say a reference user in SAP is like a add-on membership card. You can't log in with it, but it gives extra authorization to other user. It is mainly used to simplify role management. For example, giving extra access to a group of users without assigning role one by one. Okay, this is all about. Okay, if you go through this, see, I can see If it is a dialog, okay, I'll just make it large. See, if it is a dialog, the dialog in the sense all the humans, right, they can log in, they can use GUI logon, RFC is possible, and password is expired in 90 or 60 days. But if a system, you cannot log in GUI, but RFC connection is possible and password is never expired. In communication, the GUI is not possible, login is not possible. RFC is we are doing RFC because this is a within the system, SAP system. This is the external system, third party. Now password also not expired, not expired here. In services, okay, you should do the login. KISOC I told you, right? KISOC, public KISOC. The services I can do one dummy password or normal or common user ID I need to use, but RFC is not possible and password also not expired. And a reference user, again you don't require a SAP GUI login, okay, and then RFC is not possible and password also not expired. Remember this table is a very important table, okay. These are the properties of the user, okay. So best practice is what? Always assign the minimum required user type. Okay, we cannot create, we cannot assign many rows to that. Okay, avoid using dialog user type for background or system communication. If you are configuring for the background or system communication, you should not use the dialog, you should use system. Secure service and system user type with the proper login and monitoring. Use reference user only for authorization purpose, only authorization purpose you can use. Okay, this is all about today's session, guys. So I am giving an assignment for you today.
Yeah.
That this you need to create, okay, create 5 types of users. Okay, first create on 5 types of users. Second, what you need to do, okay, you cannot create system to system like that, you cannot create, but reference user, I told you, you need to I show you the what is that example, right? For example, see, you create 2 users, one is reference user, okay, another is dialog user. You create one reference user and dialog user. In dialog user, you assign one role, any role, you take any role. In reference user, okay, you in reference user, you assign some 2 role. Okay, now go to this dialog user and assign this reference user so that he can access role 1 and role 2. Totally 3 role he can access. Got my point? Got my point or not? Tell me, otherwise I will tell you one more time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is your assignment, so you have to do. Then later tomorrow, I think Anil, I think we have like 1 or 2 session maximum. We will complete the user administration. After completion of user administration, I will give you all the interview questions what they will ask in user administration, and with the answers with the real time examples. Okay, because whenever you are answering in interview, if you are giving a real time examples, if you are showcasing your knowledge with example, definitely they will added advantage, they will consider your profile. Okay. Again, okay, this is as of now, this is we are going to close this session now, end of the session. Now this is your this is your what is that, this is your homework for you. Okay, you have to do. Any questions related to this user type? I think one or two sessions, like I think one, I guess 1 or 2 maximum, we are going to complete user administration. Then we'll start very important session about role administration. That is very important session, and most of the interview.
So there will be 2 sessions, right, Mohammed?
Every day. I mean, you mean to say user administration, Anil? Anil?
Okay.
What do you mean, Anil? Anil? I didn't get you. Tell me.
Okay. Okay, Muhammad.
No. You have any question? If you have any question, let me know, Anil. You have any question, Anil? Syed, if you have any question, let me know. Okay, I'm winding up the session now. So tomorrow I'll see you. Okay. Tomorrow same time. I'll see you.
Your voice is breaking, Muhammad.
Yeah, my voice
is
is breaking.
Only for me or someone else?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you a question, but I'm not getting reply.
Yes, voice is breaking.
Okay. Now, can you hear me now?
I think okay.
It's okay.
Okay, see you tomorrow then. Okay.